Hello Oracles, I love Tsla Fudge. I love Tesla stock fudge. For you guys who have been around for a while, you know what fudge means. For those of you who are new to the channel, fudge is when there is fear, uncertainty, and doubt, grab extra. This is something that we had come up with earlier in the year as we started to go into this bear market. There's a lot of times that there's fear, uncertainty, and doubt. That is usually what drives the stock market and other stock prices down. Currently, when it comes to Tesla stock, there is a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt right now. We all have the bear market that we are in to begin with the macro environment being very uncertain, and then we have Tesla stock on top of it with Elon acquiring Twitter and all sorts of FUD going around that as well. For me, these are the times that we grab extra. I had my whole tough love video last night, and you guys can watch that if you're in for some tough love. And quite honestly, it's really just all about human behavior. Market manipulators just take the predictability of human behavior and manipulate it. That's exactly what they are doing. I live here in the Northeast of the United States, and it snows every winter. Every winter, it gets cold. And it's gonna snow. And every single winter, people are out there freaking out like, oh my gosh, it's getting cold. Oh my gosh, it's snowing. As if it's never happened before. We go through these times in the stock market regularly, but people react the exact same way in a predictable manner every single time. This is exactly what happens with market manipulators. We just had at my work anniversary party somebody who came in as a mind reader. Now, part of being a mind reader is they kind of give you clues and things to say that give them the information back that they want to hear. So they sort of manipulate your behavior in that process. This is exactly what happens with market manipulators. They are intentionally manipulating how they want you to behave by dropping little breadcrumbs along the way so you can follow that path. That's just what they do. This is how it works, and this is how human behavior works. So I just wanted to let you guys know that with the Tough Love video last night, it's about controlling your emotions because they're intentionally manipulating you for these reasons. I don't know where the stock is going to go in the future. We can certainly come down a lot further. Quite honestly, looking at the way we are bouncing right now, looking at some of the charts, which we will go over tonight, I do think that we may end up hitting a point where we bounce back up and may have one more bounce down to go. Looking at Chicken Genius saying 140, that could be possible. I don't know, but just looking at the charts, we may have one more bounce down before we finally consolidate and then start to come back up again. This is going to be a market-wide thing. This isn't going to be a Tesla-specific thing. The entire market is kind of moving in that direction. We just need to figure out where the actual bottom is, find that, and then start to consolidate, and then we can come out of that. We may sit at the bottom for a little while, so it's not like we're going to have a V bounce, but I think that's going to be the next stage for us. Again, I will go into some levels of support and resistance tonight on the charts. So things to look out for today, we do have the CPI data release. So this is going to be coming out. We have an expectation of 8%. So we have been seeing us missing the percentages for the last couple of months. So just waiting to see what we're going to be getting out of this. Personally, I would again, for the third month in a row, I'd really like to see us in that 7% range. We are coming down slower than the Fed anticipated. This is why the Fed has been coming out and saying that they may end up having to raise rates higher than they anticipated before. We just aren't sure at these times right now. So again, we're taking it data point to data point, figuring all of this out. And this again leads to more fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And then on Monday, we are going to be getting the PPI data. We do still have some seats in the Senate that are still waiting to find out who has won over there. So a lot of still uncertainty going on with the elections, CPI, inflation, PPI. Again, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. We've said it many times before on here, when there are more questions than answers in the stock market, we typically see red. This is just naturally how it works. That's really it. But we have to remember Warren Buffett, who clearly is one of the best investors of all time, has always said, be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. Right now, we have a lot of fear that is going on out there. I wish we could see a specific chart for the fear-greed index when it comes to Tesla stock alone, because I have no doubt that right now we would be in the extremely fearful portion of that chart. So just thinking about how fearful we are at the moment, the RSI is at 24. Again, we have not seen any Form 4 filings coming out from Elon for yesterday, but based upon the volumes that we saw coming in and the 7% drop on the stock, despite the fact that the NASDAQ was down 3%, I think we may have seen some more selling coming out of Elon. Now, don't forget, when we see selling pressure like this coming in, there's a lot of margin calls that happen. So a lot of people are forced to sell their stock. A lot of people have sell orders put in at certain levels just to protect themselves. So as the stock price drops quickly, there's a lot of these orders that get triggered. Those orders get triggered and then it drops it further and further triggers more orders below that. It's a domino effect. And market manipulators have access to all of these order information that are out there. So they have their algorithms and computers checking all of this. They can see the levels that everybody has. So they can force things down to certain levels, trigger all of this off, and hit that. This is why in the past, when we were coming down from 313, I was able to see every one of those levels as we were coming down, because those are the levels that a lot of market manipulators see. That's where they have stopped it before. That's where they're going to stop it again. It's just the natural course of things. So I'm going to dive into some of those levels again tonight on the charts so you can see some potential levels of support on the way down if we do continue to come down. So I'm just going to dive into those. And again, last time when we came down, we hit a level, stayed at it for basically a day, and then came down below that some more. So it's good to understand these levels and where we are going and where we could potentially see in the future, but it's not anything that really predicts, where we are going to be moving in the future. It just sort of predicts, hey, if we move in this direction, this is probably going to be an area where we are going to stop for a moment. That's really it. More like rest stops along the way on our journey rather than predicting where that journey is going to take us. Still some good information to have, so I'll share it with you guys. And someone else had mentioned in the comments that, with all the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that is out there, with the negative emotions that a lot of people are feeling right now because of what is going on, it's maybe a good thing to come up with some more of a positive video. And I'm going to do that for you guys as well. It may be tomorrow morning. I've got to get some information, just kind of gather my notes together, just to go over all the different positives that we have seen for the course of the year, what we saw in Q3, what catalysts we could be seeing in Q4, and what other catalysts we see coming in 2023. Something positive just to remind us of the fundamentals of what the company is actually doing, despite the fact that we have all of this noise and FUD going on out there behind Elon and Twitter and everything else in the macro environment. So thank you for pointing that out. I will definitely make one of those videos very soon. Just depends on how much time I have to be able to put all of my notes together. Some great fundamental news that we did just get yesterday was production numbers coming out of Shanghai. Those were a record number of 87,000, which we had mentioned yesterday. And Karav had mentioned to me about the run rate that is going on over there at just over 20,000 vehicles per week. This is something we had discussed back in July when they were doing all of the upgrades in the plant. When they did the upgrades over there, the production goal was to be around that 21,000 vehicle per week mark. We are now getting to those levels. This is exactly what we are planning on doing, and we are getting there. So when it comes to production and the plan and the roadmap, Tesla is succeeding. Farzad had mentioned something over on Twitter yesterday about how, Elon being distracted by Twitter right now. Some people can say he is, some people say he isn't. Personally, he's clearly spending a lot of time over there, so I'm not going to say he is not distracted by Twitter. He clearly is focused over there at the moment, but he said he is still working on Tesla as well. He's doing both. But I think what's going to come down to is if he is focusing his attention right now on Twitter, and we end up getting to the end of the quarter for Q4, and we have stellar numbers that are coming out of this, this is a great moment in time where we can say that the lead man risk is not as important as it used to be, because Tesla is clearly functioning strong with Elon being distracted by Twitter. So Farzad had a great point with that. Let me know in the comments below if you guys agree with that. I personally do, because if everybody is out here saying that Elon is distracted, but Tesla can still bang out some serious numbers, then hey, Tesla's clearly doing very well on its own, and Elon can still manage the company while still doing other things. Just wait to see what's going to happen when Elon does get a team in place over at Twitter and then can come back and focus more of his attention on Tesla again. And one thing we had mentioned on the live stream as well is when it comes down to the key man risk and getting another CEO put in place for Tesla, perhaps in the future, and I don't know if this will happen, but I think it would be awesome, if Tesla ends up buying out Redwood Materials, bring JB Straubel back on, and then JB Straubel ends up taking over that CEO position. I personally think that would be awesome. Whether that's actually going to happen or not, I do not know. But I think that would be an amazing change in the future they could potentially eliminate a lot of these big risks that people see when it comes to being a Tesla investor and the key man risk. So all in all, I know it's very difficult to be a Tesla stock investor at the moment. I've been having conversations with both of you guys, and it seems like there's just really two camps. There's not a lot of gray area going on right now. There's people who are loving these prices coming down so they could buy more for less, and there's people who are very frustrated. I'm understanding both sides. I feel both sides emotionally. I do feel the pain of this. I truly do. I don't like to see my portfolio going as red as it is. I want to see us turn around, but part of me is also realizing that these are the times right now, historically, that you know what? These are the times where you want to be buying and adding more. So if I've got some more time to add, I would like to do so. I have a smaller portfolio. I am in a position where I can still continue to add. I have a lot of cash flow coming in that I can continue building my position. I know not everyone is like that. But I just wanted to remind everybody that we are all on the same team. So we may have differing opinions, we may have differing emotions that are going on at the moment. Totally normal, totally natural. Just remember, we are all looking for the same thing. Most of us on here are investors in Tesla because we see what they are bringing for the future and how they are disrupting technology, how they're disrupting humanity, how they're going to be disrupting civilization going forward, looking forward to the mission as it is. And this is what we are all striving for. And it's not all about the stock price, it's about the mission. And just remember that we are all on the same team and we are all moving towards that same place. We are still going there. Tesla's mission has not changed. We're still looking to change the world over to renewable, sustainable energy. None of that has changed. We are still going there. And we already knew, even back when the stock price was doing well, that it was going to take some time. It was going to take 5 to 10 years for us to really make that transition. We're just going through one of those tougher times, but we are still moving in that direction. So just remember, we're all on the same team here. And also a quick note, if you guys love that I love Tsla Fudge, I actually have some shirts that you can purchase down in the merch store below. You can check those out. I just put those up this past week. So I've got those up there. I've got mine coming in, so I'll be wearing it on here soon for you guys so you could check them out. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. We do have a Discord chat. That link is down in the description. And if you'd like to support the channel any further, we do have a membership program and a Patreon. Those links are also in the description. Thank you so much. Have a great one.